That accusation originated with the psychopath Godless Girl.
It wasn't your wife, Carol Snow, that divorced you in 2012?
Okay, listen to me very carefully, okay?
I sort of expect a father to love his son no matter what, but here we are.
What does that mean?
It means you abused your LGBT son.
Yeah, dude, you got the wrong room here. Where this is not a room for trolling. Now, you were in here yesterday. Do you want me to ban you from coming in here? All right. I mean, if you want to seriously challenge me, okay, go ahead, right? But if you want to troll, I'll just mute you and I'll ban you from the room.
He wishes he could debate against the transcendental argument.
I don't think you could last 5 minutes intellectually disagreeing with me. That's why you
just
troll.
Like how your son couldn't last 5 minutes against the belt.
Right. Well, you can laugh all you want. Where did you get the idea that I'm guilty of domestic violence? Where'd you get that from?
It's just the fact that you abused your gay son. Whether verbally or
where did you get that from?
Doesn't matter. You did it.
And how do you know that?
I just know it. Just trust me on that.
How do you know it? No, I'm waiting. Listen. Notice. I haven't kicked you from the room. I haven't muted you. I've actually treated you with more respect than you actually deserve. You're coming in here trying to defame me. Now, the reason why I can in good conscience ask you that question is because I know I've never been guilty of domestic violence. Okay? Now, where did you get this? Did you get this off of some rumor page off of the internet?
Are you talking about
cookie? Listen, I'm asking you a serious question. I'm asking you a serious question.
Gary,
I'm asking you a serious question. Where? Okay. Do you want? Do I have to mute you?
I'm giving you.
Do I have to mute you,
Gary?
I'm giving you an opportunity to defend yourself. Okay, so you don't want to have
a socialist. He can't be reasoned with.
Okay. All right. So
yeah. You're trying to reason with him, Darth. You can't reason with the.
You see, listen. Let nobody say that I bent over backwards. I mean, this guy is clearly a scumbag. He's clearly trying to slander and defame me. And I'm like, okay, where'd you get this from? Okay.
Well, what he's doing is he's bearing false witness.
Well, of course he is. Okay.
This one.
And you see, he made slanderous and defamatory remarks. Did he get muted right away? No. So where'd you get that from? Did you get that off the interweb? You know where you got that from? Okay. I'll tell you where you got it from. I'm going to mute you for a moment, okay? I don't want to have to mute you again, okay? And I mean that sincerely. Do you know where the idea originated from that I was guilty of domestic violence and specifically against one of my children? Do you know where it originated from, Nash?
Was it your wife?
No.
He doesn't care.
No. You see, everybody in the room knows that you're a troll, but I'm bending over backwards being patient with you. Now, that accusation originated with the psychopath Godless Girl.
It wasn't your wife, Carol Snow, that divorced you in 2012?
Okay, listen to me very carefully, okay? Godless Girl was the psychopath on the internet. She is somebody who has repeatedly confessed to having lifelong mental problems, social conflicts with family members, and conflicts with the law, okay? These are all her own public confessions. That is the origination of this rumor that I've committed domestic violence against one of my children. Okay? There is no record in any law books that there's been domestic violence. Okay? Because it never happened.
Well,
Okay?
it doesn't have to be recorded in a law
Where
for it to have happened.
where did you get your information that I committed domestic violence against one of my children? Where did you get that?
An interview with your wife?
Okay, that's a lie.
It's not.
Really? What interview with my wife? Okay, what? There is none that where I'm guilty of domestic violence. None. It doesn't exist. All you're simply doing is you are repeating the defamatory and slanderous and libelous remarks that originated from a small cult group headed by Jack Angstreich and his acolytes. Okay? One of his acolytes is a guy by the name of Sidney Winston. Have you ever heard that name, Nash?
I have not.
Okay, he's one of the people that is posting stuff on the internet that is simply false. Okay?
Okay, so
Okay.
you're saying
Anyway,
godless-
we're listen to me. We're almost done here because I think that your conduct so far is just simply egregious as a human being. That you are willing, you're willing to come and listen to me. Listen to me. You're willing to come in on the internet because you have anonymity. Okay. I want to ask you a simple question. I want to ask you a simple question. Okay. I want to ask you a simple question.
Sure.
If we were in a closed room, right?
Yeah.
And there were no cameras.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Would you felt that I had the capacity to kick your ass and I could get away with it? Would you talk to me this way?
Absolutely.
You're a liar.
I would.
Good. Give us your address right now.
Okay.
Give us your address and name.
You faggot.
Yeah.
Give us your address and name right now.
Dude, we're done. Okay. You're just one of many scumbags on the internet who, because you don't like what I say, okay? See, and you're even an atheist, okay? Because you don't like because you don't like the fact that I eviscerate atheists, okay? This is why you come in here and you defame me without any basis. Let me explain something to you. If I was actually guilty of domestic violence, I would admit it and say, you know what? I did something wrong. But no such event ever happened. Okay? Okay? And you got it. You got this idea that I committed domestic violence against one of my children. It is historically rooted in Godless Girl making this accusation over and over and over again, okay, on the internet and on social networks, pal talk.
Yes, he's obviously, because he's a stalker, he can't deal with the argument.
Yeah. Now, what I want to ask you is, it says you're listed as an atheist. Now, are you aware that atheism is a universal negative?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, actually, it is. Okay.
Okay.
Now, are you unwilling to start with God with respect that facts can be invoked without the necessity of referencing the necessity of God? Are you unwilling to start with God?
I'm unwilling to assert what you just said.
No. Are you unwilling to assert the necessity of referencing the necessity of God?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
that is not a negative claim.
Yeah, yes, it is.
No, it literally is not.
Listen, let Nash, listen to me. I have been above and beyond the call of duty, patient with your scumbaggery and your slander and your defamation. But I will not be patient with your sophistry and your just simply contrarianness, okay? That I will not be patient for. Now, let me explain to you. In a world where God exists, all facts would necessitate referencing the necessity of God in that scenario. So do you understand that scenario?
I want to go back to this idea.
If you evade my question, you will be server muted and ejected from the room.
Okay,
And
I won't
I will
debate any
then
more
I will put a ban, and you will have to come in under a different name, and you have a recognizable voice. Now,
thank you.
I haven't banned you yet. Any number of the other Christians in here would have done so already if you had slandered and defamed them like you have me here today. Now, in a world where God is, all facts would necessitate referencing the necessity of God. Now, do you understand that particular model?
Yes.
Okay. In a world without God, all facts would not necessitate referencing the necessity of God. Okay?
Yes.
So when you say, I am unwilling to start with God, I will not assert the necessity of referencing the necessity of God. That is what we call an implicit de facto denial of God. A denial of God need not entail an explicit denial. It can be an indirect, implicit denial. Okay? Now, do you want to deny that there can be an implicit denial?
There is such thing as implicit denial, yes.
Good, good. So when you say, I refuse, I will not assert that facts necessitate referencing the necessity of God, that is an implicit, indirect denial of God. What you are saying by such a declaration is that one or more facts, all right, can be actual and intelligible without the necessity of referencing God. That's your position. Are we clear?
I didn't say that, but sure.
No. Okay. Do you invoke one or more facts by choice without referencing the necessity of God?
I'm sorry, can you restate the question?
When you invoke one or more facts, do you assert that facts can be invoked without the necessity of referencing God?
No.
So then facts do necessitate referencing God?
I don't assert that.
No, which is your position? When you invoke facts, do you assert the necessity of God, or do you refuse to assert the necessity of God?
I don't do either.
That's simply false. There's no neutrality.
Can I
either listen to me clearly? No, listen to me clearly.
Okay.
Either a fact is stand alone with reference to God, or a fact is not stand alone with reference to God.
Correct.
Are you stating facts without reference to God?
I am not asserting that facts.
No. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to give you this last warning. I was above and beyond the call of patient when you defamed and slandered me, but I will not be patient if you lie to me. Okay?
Okay.
Now, when you affirm one or more facts, whatever they are they presented, are they invoked without referencing the necessity of God?
Yes.
Good. That is an indirect denial of God.
Okay, so can I
Are we clear? Are we clear? You are saying indirectly and by implication that facts can be viable without referencing the necessity of God. That, sir, is a denial of God. Are we clear?
Yes.
Good. So you're making a universal negative.
Yes.
Good. Now, how in a world without God can you have acquisition and apprehension of anything that is universal? Do you have that capacity?
To acquire and apprehend a universal?
Yeah. In a world without God, okay, because your position is that your position is the falsity of God. It's a universal negative, okay? It doesn't matter whether the universal negative is explicit or implicit, but I appreciate that you're being truthful here, now admitting that your atheism is a universal negative. Your atheism is not simply a lack of belief in God. Your atheism is an indirect, implicit denial of God. Therefore, it's a universal negative. Okay? This is not controversial. This is not something that atheists should run away from. Okay? You should be emboldened in declaring your universal negative. Now, your position is a universal negative. Okay? So there's no dispute about that. Now, how in your God-free world do you have the acquisition and apprehension of any universal?
Can you clarify the question?
Yeah. How are you able to know that anything is universal?
How do I know anything is universal?
Yeah.
I don't.
Good. You have now refuted atheism. You're admitting what you just admitted, self-annihilated atheism.
I don't see how.
Well, then I'll have to go through it for you again.
Okay.
Atheism is a universal negative.
Okay.
Good. Do you have the capacity to know and establish that anything is universal?
Do I have the capacity to know?
Yeah. Do you know that anything is universal?
Do I personally know for like to a 100%?
Do you know? Is there a justified? Do you have a justification for the positive attitude toward any universal?
I do have justification.
Good. Can you please tell me by what means can you know anything is universal?
The laws of nature and physics.
Okay. Are you omniscient?
No.
Good. What is it then that institutes and secures what you deem to be regularities?
Because the laws of physics and nature are eternal, they are ontologically secure.
Right. Okay. So they are eternal. So then are the laws of nature ultimate?
Yes.
Okay. So what we have is a plurality of ultimacies, not a singular ultimacy. Is that correct?
It's kind of both.
No, wrong. Which is it? Is there something that is singularly ultimate, or is it a plurality, each individually, independently of themselves, are ultimate?
So the question is it a concrete one or a plural many?
So here's the problem. You're so accustomed to dealing with non-intelligent presuppositionalists, none of your atheist cliches, scripts, or sloganism will work here.
I'm not using any.
That's why you're hemming and hawing in the answers, because you're afraid. You are actually afraid, and everybody can hear it in your responses, of answering the question truthfully, because you know that I have a hammer to drop on anything you say.
I'm anxious to hear how he determined the laws of nature.
Now, I want to know, okay, when you say that there is a plurality that is ultimate, then there's no unifier. There's nothing singularly that is unifying, that is ultimate, that institutes the plurality of regularities. So you've already admitted that there is not a singular ultimate, right?
Well, I said that it has both qualities of concrete one.
No. Okay, good. And how did you ascertain that?
Ontologically.
Yeah, how? That's it. Listen to me. What you're giving to me right now is philosophical gobbledygook. You know that you're not fooling me, and you know you're not fooling anyone. That doesn't mean anything.
So
how do you know? How do you know? Okay, what is that singular ultimate? What is that unifier, sir? What is the concrete universal?
Oh, location in space-time.
Did time and space begin?
Did time and space begin? No, not in the traditional sense.
And how do you know this?
How do I know this?
Yeah.
Because time and space are eternal.
How do you know that?
How do I know time and space are eternal?
Yeah.
You know time and space are eternal because nothingness is inherently self-contradictory.
Yeah. Now you're speaking gobbledygook. Okay. Do you know who Sebastian Maniscalco is?
I'm not familiar with that name. No.
Okay. He's an Italian stand-up comedian. His shtick is always to ask audience members, "Aren't you embarrassed?" I'm going to ask you a sincere question. Do you think you're fooling me by your last answer?
That's loaded.
That's not a loaded question. What would be the premise that would be objectionable?
Of the question?
So you're not trying to fool me by throwaway phrases?
No.
Good. Explain to me how you know what is ultimate. Singularly ultimate. What is the concrete universal? How do you know of it?
So the concrete universal is the laws of nature and
No, sir. Sir, listen to me. The concrete universal will be something that is singular, not plural.
Space-time.
No, space-time began.
Not in the traditional sense. There's
And
no
how do you know that?
Well, because there's no point it went from a state
How
of existence to a state of existence.
How do you know? How do you know that that's eternal? By what means?
Because it exists for all time. Because time is created.
That's circular. How do you know that?
How do I know that it existed for all time?
Yeah, dude, listen to me. Listen. Everyone in the room knows how ridiculous you're being. You are like a drowning man telling the lifeguard you're not drowning. You're literally philosophically drowning. You're humiliating yourself. And I'm not saying that to put you down. You literally are humiliating yourself with these responses. Now, how do you know that anything is eternal?
Because time ontologically must be eternal.
That's a contradiction. Listen, dude, listen to me. That is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Time is another word for temporality. Time is the converse of eternal. Do you realize what landmine you just stepped into?
I feel like you're bearing false witness by talking.
Okay, we're done. You see, we're done now. Okay, you start off coming in here defaming me because you're a punk, because you're a troll. I should have ejected you and muted you and banned you, but I didn't. I confronted you with your slander and your defamation, and you have no embarrassment about defaming another human being. Okay? You have no grounds, excuse me, you have no grounds upon which to make those accusations. But you sit there like a cocky little scumbag punk, gleefully defaming another human being, knowing full well you have no objective grounds for making that slanderous statement. And you do so gleefully. Okay? But then when I even am gracious and ignore your disgusting behavior, right? And then I ask you about
evil behavior.
Yeah, your evil behavior. But then when I ask you about your position as an atheist, I get you cornered, and all you start doing, yeah, Vesper, if you don't stop with your stupid memes, I'm going to put you in the mental ward. Okay? All right? Now, your answers are just completely, and I'm not saying this to throw you under the bus, your answers are completely idiotic. They're just gobbledygook. They're just throwaway phrases. Are you omniscient?
Me, no.
Okay, then how can you know that anything is eternal?
Are you omniscient?
Okay, no.
How do you know that anything is eternal?
Because the God of the Bible is omniscient, and he's a revelatory God, and he's constructed a world in such a way for me to know, both through natural and special revelation, that he is the eternal that instituted the temporal. That's how I know.
So
Now, since you're not omniscient, you could be wrong about what you say is eternal, right? Could you be wrong about that?
could I mean, I guess if we defined time.
Okay, here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. You have no philosophical grounds. Without resorting to gobbledygook responses, you have no philosophical grounds upon which to justify any statement of universality. None whatsoever. You're just making naked assertions that I mean, you even went so far as to say that temporality is what is eternal, which is a contradiction in terms.
How is that a contradiction in terms?
Because what is temporal is defined as having begun to exist. By definition, that which is eternal does not begin to exist. So what you have just, listen carefully, okay? When you say that time is what is eternal, this is a contradiction in terms. It's like saying it's a square triangle. So here's the bottom line. You have no rational grounds, instead of giving me throwaway gobbledygook responses that nobody in here, there's nobody who takes you seriously. You don't even take yourself seriously. You know you're giving me throwaway phrases, and so do I, and everyone else in the room does. Now, your atheism is a universal negative, but you have no grounds upon which to make universal statements.
But can I just talk about that contradiction real quick?
How are you able to have acquisition of any universal state?
Yes, that's no.
Answer the question or we're done.
I'm sorry, restate the question. How can I acquisition?
How do you have acquisition, and how do you attest? On what grounds other than by mysticism or arbitrariness do you assert that anything is universal?
The laws of physics and nature.
No, that's just a restatement of a universality. How do you know that they're universal? And by the way, universal. What is the concrete universal that institutes that plurality.
Space-time.
Yeah, that what you're appealing to now is what is eternal is temporal. That's a contradiction in terms.
So
Did you
can I-
Okay, we're done. We're done. You're just a lying scumbag. See you later.
Unbelievable. Why do you put up with this stuff? You should have blocked them a while ago.
Because I want to demonstrate to people that I'm just not always unhinged. Okay, I confronted it with his defamation and his slander. He's just a vile, disgusting punk that he's willing to defame somebody else who he doesn't like based upon internet rumors from a small cult group of miscreants, known trolls. By the way, the other atheists on Discord and on the internet know that this cult group, that they're just a bunch of miscreant trolls. They're not liked by other atheists. The only time other atheists like this cult group is because they like the fact that they're trolling me and some other Christians. But these people are not liked. You know why? Is because this small cult group, they're elitist. They think they're smarter than everybody else. Their fellow atheists don't even like them.
Is Godless Girl part of this group?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's one of the three stooges. Okay.
Her and Strike and
her skanky boyfriend.
Okay.
Josh. Or the realistic nihilist.
Yeah, realistic.
And you see, my mistake is I keep on commenting on it. What I should do is not comment on them all. But, people will say, oh, I'm a coward. No, I'm not. I just confronted one of my accusers here, okay? And he's a client. Listen, you were kicked from the room, Nash. I'm kicking you again. Don't come back in or I'll type the bot command to ban you. And then you'll have to sneak in under another account. Listen, does anybody think that this little punk, that if we were in a closed room, would talk trash this to me when there's no cameras in there?
Absolutely. Yeah, probably.
No. Okay. Yeah. It's Culver. Yeah, you're gone. Yeah. These trolls are never ending. Isn't it amazing? They are never ending. Okay.
Now back to where we were.
Yeah. Okay.
We were talking about Islam, and Aziz, you had asked him a question. I can't remember what the question was. It was about.
Yeah. Okay. So, I apologize for that distraction, but I think at least sometimes I should confront these slanderous pigs. Okay. All right.
Duncan, I know sometimes I can't.
Yeah. Let me just listen. Let me just explain this. Okay. I love each and one of my family members, and I have never been violent toward them. And these internet rumors they're just simply disgusting. Okay. These people who hurl around these defamatory and slanderous and in some cases libelous remarks. And by the way, the people who are committing the libel are doing so from Canada. Okay. Where they're posting anonymous information to internet servers where they can't be identified and sued. Okay, this is what scumbags these people are. Okay, I've never been domestically violent toward any of my family members, and the people who are fomenting this slanderous information know nothing of the details of my background information, nothing at all, or my family situation. They think they know, they don't. Now, if I was the character to really want to defend myself, I could easily do this by throwing certain family members under the bus, but I'm not even going to do that, okay? Because I love my family members, right? And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus that's a close family member, okay? Even to defend myself.
Oh, that's smart, though.
Now, Aziz, and you know what? I shouldn't have even said that, okay?
True.
I shouldn't have said that.